G'day scientists! Normally I give you an overview of STEM kits, but today I'm going to be reviewing STEM ebooks from Humble Bundle. If you haven't used Humble Bundle before, it's an online store that sells bundles of video games and ebooks, and you get to decide how much you pay for them, with some of the money going to charities. I've put a link in the description below so you can check it out. This Humble Bundle was available for the whole of August, and it's called the Back to School Bundle by Make. It's got a total of 28 books and 4 volumes of Maker magazine, all STEM related, for just $24.43. I'm going to show you what you get and rate the bundle on fun, price, and how much you learn while you're using them. Finally, I'll let you know whether I think you should buy them. Book 1, Atmospheric Monitoring with Arduino. I am a massive fan of Arduino. I also have a degree in meteorology, so needless to say, I'm very excited about this book. The cool thing about anything weather is that it covers a whole pile of related sciences in one topic. The book covers electronics, programming, chemistry and mathematics. It's one I'm definitely going to come back to in a future video and build something from. I'd say it's best for teenager scientists as some of the concepts are more advanced. Book 2, Fusion 360 for Makers. Fusion 360 is a cloud-based 3D modeling software made by Autodesk, and it's free for personal use. I've used other cloud 3D printing software before, but not this one. The book takes you through the interface of the app, some concepts of 3D modeling, and then on to actually create some 3D models. 3D printing is a great thing to learn. It combines together engineering, mathematics, chemistry, and at the end of the day you get to make something physical. You will need a lot of patience though, as it's quite common to get a lot of failed prints as you get to know your printer and the material you're using. For that reason, it's probably more suited towards teenager scientists. In a future video, I'll give it a go and show how easy it is to get started with 3D printing, and we'll make something from this book. Book 3, Getting Started with Microbit. When I was growing up, my parents bought me a BBC microcomputer Model B, and in those days it was really rare to have a computer in your home. It really inspired me to learn more about programming and mathematics, and has definitely played a part in my career as an adult. This book is about the microbit. It's a bit like an Arduino, except you program it using Python. Python is one of the top languages to learn right now. It's very simple and is used a lot in data science. The book introduces you to microbit and the chips on the board, and then introduces you to MicroPython and how to attach sensors to the board. If there was one thing I think could be improved in the book, it's to add some projects into it so you can build something with purpose. This is a great book for teenage scientists unaccompanied, or for some smaller ones with some help. Book 4, Illustrated Guide to Astronomical Wonders. This book teaches you about the night sky and takes you through some of its constellations. With each constellation, it takes you through the history of the naming and some of the objects you see in that constellation. Usually with each constellation, there are different things to look at with different equipment in different settings. From binoculars in an urban setting all the way through to imaging deep sky objects like nebula using image stacking and filters. This book is great for teenage scientists. Book 5, Illustrated Guide to Home Biology Experiments. This book is quite advanced, but biology is not my strongest subject. It takes you through all the steps you need to build your own home biology lab, including equipment, safety, and experiments. This book is really experimental based, so there's lots of activities to perform, from mounting specimens to bacteria and fungi. This book again looks great for teenage scientists. Book 6, Illustrated Guide to Home Forensic Science Experiments. This book, marketed for responsible teenagers, teaches you to perform forensic science experiments at home. It covers experiments like examining soil samples, hair and fibre analysis, and lifting fingerprints using superglue. This looks like great fun, and if you have a scientist in your family that's interested in police work, this looks like a great STEM book for them. Book 7 is a historical science book. It teaches you things like how to make soap from bacon fat, how to make paper, and even cider. It's therefore probably not aimed at younger scientists. That said, it has a fantastic recipe for brining and roasting a turkey. If you have never brined your turkey before roasting it before, I highly recommend it. Delicious. Book 8, Electricity for Young Makers. This book is awesome. It's aimed at younger scientists and is in a cartoon format. In it, you will make a penny-powered flashlight. If you're not in America, you will have to choose some coins that have some zinc in them. Unfortunately, none of the coins left in circulation in Australia have zinc in them. There are other experiments in this book, including how to make a speaker out of paper. This is a beautiful book and it looks like great fun. Book 9, Fabric and Fibre Inventions. This book is cool. It highlights the science contained in fabric and textiles. You'll learn how to print and paint on fabric in a variety of settings. There's a whole chapter on meshing electronics into textiles and how to sew electronic circuits. Book 10, Geometry. This book is all about 3D printing and coding, so lots of mathematics. It teaches you how to use OpenSCAD and the mathematics behind common shapes that you use while 3D printing. There are some projects to follow in this book too. This book would be great for scientists who have shown some interest in shapes and spatial geometry and mathematics. Book 11, Getting Started with Drones. Although it's called Getting Started, this book looks really thorough. You're not just going to learn how to use a drone, but how to build one from scratch. It covers the principles of flight and how they apply to drones, so it covers a lot of science as well. It looks like the kind of book that's ideal for teenage scientists that have shown an interest in engineering and flight. Book 12, Illustrated Guide to Home Chemistry Experiments. This book is excellent for a teenage scientist that wants to build a home chemistry lab. It covers everything from the equipment required through to safety and skills. This book is split into a number of experiments and it really looks like you could learn a lot from the book. Book 13, Inventing a Better Mousetrap. Bit of a weird title this one, but once you open it up you know exactly what it's about. It's a history book full of inventions and patents, most of them science related. I think this would make a great coffee table book, but even in its electric form, it's super interesting and is sure to spark some inspiration. Book 14, Mechanical Engineering for Makers. This book is aimed squarely at engineers, covering materials, fastening, mechanical movement and more. As with all engineering, there's a lot of mathematics in here too, so if you're interested in applied mathematics, this book is for you too. It doesn't cover a specific project, but encourages you to use the information you learn in each chapter and apply it to a project of your own choosing. Book 15, Musical Inventions. Although this book sounds arty, don't be fooled. It does a beautiful job of combining music with the science that lets it happen. You'll learn about vibration, mechanics and electronics as you read this book, all while making lots of noise. Book 16, Paper Inventions. The great thing about this book is most of us have paper in the house, so at least that's one thing you won't have to go out and buy. This book covers electronics, mathematics, engineering and more. It's a really good example of a blended science book covering one topic. There are a number of projects woven into the theory to help bring it to life. Book 17, Planes, Gliders and Paper Rockets. This book secretly teaches you about engineering while making lots of fun toys, including helicopters, airplanes, rockets and kites. Some of the experiments are straightforward and you'll have the items in your house already for them. Some are more advanced and require more things, like the rockets, as they require extra pressure to launch into the sky. This looks like a fun book for all scientists. The smaller ones will need lots of help, but they shouldn't get bored. Book 18, Props and Costume Armour. You might be thinking, what has this got to do with STEM? But there are lots of new techniques to learn in this book, including casting and vacuum forming. Not to mention that a large number of the projects are science fiction based. That's science, right? This book would be excellent for making a Halloween costume. Book 19, The Annotated Build-It-Yourself Science Laboratory. This massive 334-page book covers all the sciences, chemistry, physics and biology. It's got a lot of experiments in it and the annotations make it super simple to follow. It's not as engaging as some of the other books because it's quite text heavy, but it gets a big thumbs up for thoroughness. It even has a section on atomic energy, letting you make a fusion cloud chamber using dry ice to help you visualize and see radioactive particles. As a more complex book, it's probably more suited towards teenage scientists and will definitely require items that you don't have at home already. Book 20, Tinkering. This book is aimed at parents for their young scientists, just like this channel. Speaking of which, if you're enjoying this, please like, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be alerted next time I post a video. This book is full of experiments and lots of pictures to keep everyone entertained. It covers mechanics, electronics, chemistry and more. It also guides parents on how to answer science questions from your young scientists, so if you're not very sciencey, it's probably a good book for you. Book 21, Zero to Maker. This book teaches you about the soft skills that are useful for a scientist, maker or innovator. Not really for the younger scientists, but would be useful for parents who are trying to understand them. It's a really interesting book, covering everything from having your first idea and making a prototype to scaling and making thousands of copies. Book 22, Getting Started with Soldering. Clearly a book for the older scientists because soldering irons are hot. This comprehensive book shows you the tools and materials used for soldering and teaches you what to do when things go wrong. I'm a rudimentary level solderer, so there'll be lots in this book that's useful for me. If you're getting into electronics, this book is essential. I'm going to come back to this book in a later video and we can learn some techniques together. Book 23, How to Use a Breadboard. Hand in hand with the last book, when you're beginning to tinker with electronics, a breadboard is a great place to start out. This book shows you how a breadboard works and how to build a prototype with it. It's got lots of practice circuits for you to follow along, and I think it'd be really good for a small scientist who's just getting started in electronics. One of the best things about this book is its format. It's in a beautiful 80s style cartoon, absolutely stunning. Book 24, More Tinkering. This book is awesome. It's full of experiments covering mathematics, chemistry and biology. Each of the experiments are illustrated with small scientists from the tropics. So if you're not in the tropics, it also teaches you a bit about life there too. Some of the experiments use materials that may be hard to find, but most seem to use basic materials, and it still teaches you quite a bit. Book 25, The Maker Magician's Handbook. There's not really much STEM happening in this one, however there is a whole chapter on robots and magic. It looks good fun and it comes with a bundle anyway. Book 26, Start Making. This book guides parents in engaging their small scientists with science activities. It's got 8 sessions of activities to work through together, and it's got a chapter on encouragement and keeping engagement high. It's got a variety of experiments ranging from robotics to sewing electronics to light photography. There should be something in here to suit everyone's interest. Book 27, Making Makers. This one is for parents to read about the qualities to nurture in young scientists, covering the softer skills that turn us into innovators and inventors. I think this book would be great for all parents, whether they are themselves scientists or not. It's full of heartwarming stories of scientists growing up, sharing the things that they did that inspired them to start careers in tech, engineering and science. Book 28, Woodworking for Young Makers. This is another great book in that cartoon style. It's a starter book for woodwork and a great entry into engineering. There are 4 projects in the book, ranging from a wizard's wand to a secret compartment box. I'm not particularly practical, so the projects look a little bit daunting, even though they're in cartoon format. I think this would be best for parents that already have some practical experience so that they can assist their young scientists. Book 29 to 32 are volumes of Maker magazine. Each volume is over 120 pages and covers multiple kits and projects to build. For example, in volume 70, you can build a walking robotic kitten using the OpenCat framework running on an Arduino. This sounds like a multi-weekend project where you would learn lots. In volume 71, you can build a lightning detector, again running on an Arduino. In volume 72, you can 3D print a fiddle, and it's also got a lot of information about privacy and ethics, which is a super hot topic in technology right now. And in volume 73, a COVID-19 special, you can build a backyard wind turbine. So what do I think about this back to school humble bundle? There's a lot in it, and at just over $24 for 32 books, it's incredible value. That's just under $1 a book. The books cover a variety of ages and cover every STEM topic. There's really something in there for everyone, including parents. To get the most out of these books, you're really going to have to spend time with the smaller scientists, potentially splitting some of the projects up into smaller sessions so that they don't get bored. You will definitely need to plan ahead to make sure you've got all the things you need to build the projects in the book. I'm going to give the Back to School Humble Bundle 3 stars for fun, 3 stars for price, and 3 stars for learning. So buy or bye-bye? I think you know it's a definite buy. There's really something in this bundle for everyone, and at just under $1 per book, it's incredible value. If you haven't seen it yet, check this video.